Are you ready to run your short-term rental business like a superhost? If so, look no further than Guesty for Hosts. Guesty for Hosts offers listing management for all three major OTAs, Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO. With Guesty for Hosts, you can create a branded direct booking website in minutes. I've been able to hit 61% direct bookings in my business and automate daily tasks such as communication with cleaners and communication with guests. Click the link in the show notes to get an additional $20 off your first month.
Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
of Live,
Let, Thrive.
What is up, Micah? Man.
I'm good, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Here in Mexico. Guadalajara, Mexico. Yeah. And we're coming at you. We're coming at you from Guadalajara, Mexico, and Arlington, Texas. This is episode 214 of your favorite Airbnb, VRBO, short-term rental, midterm, long-term podcast in the world. And we are ready to throw down some game today, Micah, man.
Let's do it, man. Now you got me. I got you down in Guadalajara. I got some questions, man. How's the Airbnb game out in Guadalajara?
It's pretty good, man. I'm looking to get me one over here, man. I've been wanting like a nice, comfortable place for my family for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, of course, how us investors look at things, right? We don't just look at I'm just gonna buy a second home. I'm gonna use it when I go. No, I want that thing to make me profit, like everything else in my life, right?
Yes, sir.
So why buy something, why buy a piece of junk when you can buy something really nice that's going to make you profit as well? That's a beautiful thing.
Facts.
Yeah.
So,
and
good.
Game strong over here, man.
Really? Now the one thing I do have a question about, like, if you're going to buy down in Mexico, are you going to pay like 100% cash, or can you do financing?
Now I have there's expat friends of ours, from the past shows that James Guzman, he mentioned, he talked about it before. He says there is some financing available for expats that go down there, or investors, but the interest rate is really high. But I mean, let's say high back then was 10%. Shit, we're near 7% for investors in the States. So what's the 3% difference if you can buy something for half or a third of the price? It's really nice over here,
That's true.
And so it all makes us investors love to pay for things later, right? And start cash flowing right now. So you might pay some interest, but I like making money today and using other people's money to make me money. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks. Then now, like, what's the prices like over there?
So like you talking about on Airbnb, or are you talking about buying something?
Yeah, just buying something. Like, if you could just buy a house over there, like, or build something, like, what's the cheaper route to go? Because I'm interested in international investing.
Yeah, it varies a lot, of course. The closer to the city you are, the more it's going to cost, right? And so you're going to buy a place in the city. Man, I haven't even looked at prices in a while, but back then you could buy something for around 100K, something really nice for around 100K in the city where people want to be, right? Yeah. And if you want to go outside the city, it's gonna be a lot cheaper. But I kind of favor going a little bit outside and then spending money and making a nice place with its own piece of land, has a pool, stuff you can put something together where like a big family can stay. That's the kind of route I'm going, because if you go into the city, you can get something for $100,000. That's pretty nice, but you're competing against all the other hotels, and you have to whatever their prices dictate. And going to Mexico is pretty cheap to stay at a nice place in Mexico, right? Yes, so your prices are going to come down a lot. So you really gotta, like advice we gave a long time ago, don't compete with the hotels. That really makes sense here, because someone wants to come here to Mexico. They want to do like a party. They want to do a baptism like we did for my 2-year-old. This time, it's cool to have. Yeah, thanks, man. It's pretty cool. And so to get something where the whole family that's going to come to Mexico can all stay together. That's pretty key right there, if you're gonna think, so you won't be competing with the hotels.
Oh, gotcha.
Because the hotels are nice. I'm staying at the Riu, RIU. They have them all over the world. And I asked them, hey, is that conference room back there? Could I use that while I'm for a little bit, I'm going to record something. And they said, yeah, you get it 3 hours a day, every day, if you want to use it, for free. And so I got this big ass, I'm going to turn the camera, big ass conference room, sitting at the head of the table, got the what's it called, the board, dry erase board over there if I wanted to use it.
Oh man, you can be making content over there.
I know, man. You got a big screen TV you can hook up to, and I was like, I can use that. I don't have to pay nothing for it. No, it comes with what your package that you got. I was like, shit, that's when I texted you back. I was like, dude, let's do it, man. Let's do the podcast from Mexico.
Oh yeah. Now, since you've been down there, is there a lot of Americans down there in Guadalajara, or how's like the tourism?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of gringos over here. There's a lot of Americans, especially at this hotel. It's like one of the nicer ones, right? It's the tallest building in Guadalajara. So we're way up there, 33rd floor, man. Got the view of the whole city.
Damn.
Nice. Yeah, so there's a lot of gringos that stay here, and you can get it for around. I mean, if you go on kayak or something like that, you can get it for around, $90, $100 a night, and then it's like on your badass breakfast buffet included for you and your family. So it's hard to beat that.
See, and that's what I always say. I think you texted it earlier. I don't know if we texted it to each other in our chat group. You're like, man, hotels still have a lot to offer, and stuff like that, like the breakfast and stuff like that, man. It's certain things that, Airbnb hosts, you can offer it, but it becomes like, once you start scaling, you're like, can I scale sending people breakfast there, So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
That's the thing, man. And I was gonna go heavy on that today. It's like how to run your Airbnb like a hotel, And then of course, it's funny because they've been like our enemies in a way for a while. They're the ones trying to get us shut down and all that stuff. But I was like, man, they've been doing this for thousands of years. We just started this crap. We can learn a lot from how they run their business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot. And so one thing that jumps out is, and you've touched on it with your business with Airbnb, is they put their damn names on everything in your room, dude. Coffee mugs, man. They got the little symbol right here on the coffee mugs,
Hey, you see my coffee mugs are branded, right?
Yeah.
That's you put it on everything, so it goes in people's mind, man.
It's nice stuff too, and the robes. My wife's like, "Oh, cool, we got robes," because we usually stay at Airbnb. Airbnb don't give you that stuff, but she got this nice, comfortable robe, and of course it says Ryu right there, big letters, and she wants to buy one. On the way out, she wants to buy one of these robes, and man, the towels, the room service thing, they brand that. They have a sticker there where you can scan it with your phone. Everything, man, anything you could think of. They have a hanger in there in the closet, right? This was pretty cool. A hanger in the closet that has these slips. If you want to do laundry service, right? All you got to do is fill out a slip, put the stuff in a bag, set it in front of your door. And they come in and they take it in the morning and then they have it ready for you, like in the evening. All your laundry's done, folded, blah, blah, blah. If you want it starched and ironed, of course, everything costs money. But you're like, it's the convenience. I'm like, man, I'm traveling, I'm on vacation. I just throw it in the bag and let them do it. You don't even think, people are on vacation enjoying themselves. They ain't even thinking about spending the nickels and dimes, but man, they add up, dude. And that's how they make their big money.
See, and that goes into kind of like what Doug McCarty was saying. He was like, nightly rate, that is not even really my big revenue stream. He's partnered with everybody. So then everything you want to do, he nickels and dimes. Well, not nickels and dimes. It costs money, but he just gets a kickback. So he's like, that's where I make my big money. And I'm happy you brought up those robes and towels, because I think that's like something where in the short-term rental industry, like the Airbnb side, short-term side, we don't really have access to that. And that maybe is something like Mark Kostovsky or Jeff Illuine from Host GPO can look at, like, hey, partner with some of these companies that'll brand our stuff for us for our short-term rental. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Big time, man. Because they make you feel, it's weird. They make you feel a part of something, right? Like I was just looking at the notepad I got all my notes on. There's the Ryu right there. What's up? It makes you where the hell you're staying, right? You know where you're staying. It's written everywhere. They make you feel they make you feel special. You're part of something. You're part of, they want to sign up for a rewards thing. You get a free stay next time, all this stuff. So you're like, oh, damn, I'm going to sign up. And and people extend their stays all the time. Well, that's where they get you to. It costs more to extend, You're already here. What are you going to do? You're going to leave us? Nah, you're going to stay. You're going to pay a little extra and you're going to stay. And so what, of course, they clean your room every day. That's not possible. Well, it is possible, kind of, if we work it out with a good cleaner, and we have a special like high roller person that wants to stay at one of our places, and then and spend for that, have someone go in there and clean it, and you get back after a hard day's work, wherever you're doing out in the town, you get back to a freshly cleaned room. That's pretty cool. I forgot about how that feels, especially if you're staying in an Airbnb for like a week or so. You're getting home, you're starting to look like home after a week, but the hotel, everything's cleaned and washed, new sheets, everything's folded, towels, brand new everything. So like I said, there's stuff we can learn from these hotels. Like I said, they've been doing it for a while, right? And so, I mean, for example, like there's a guy at the desk in the lobby, right? He's sitting behind a computer, and it's like something called Eurocar or whatever the hell it's called, but you can rent a car while you're here. People get here and they're like, man, we're doing a lot of Uber and we're doing a lot of taxis. How much to rent a freaking car? There's a guy right there. You just walk to the desk, boom, 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 get you in a car in the basement. They have all the parking spaces. They have the cars there. So you just book your car. He has it ready for you. Here's your keys. This is the number. And so it's just these conveniences, that they think of. People don't think of, I don't need a car when I get to wherever I'm going. But after a few days, shit, man, I might need a car, man. This is, especially if you're going to do these little short. Here's the thing about Uber. I know in Mexico, I don't know so much in the United States. If you're doing these little short hops, hey, I'm just going from the hotel to downtown to this restaurant. Ubers are gonna. It's funny because I didn't realize this until now, that Ubers will cancel your ass left and right. They're like, man, that trip ain't worth. Yeah, that trip ain't worth my. And so you're stuck there. Okay, your Uber canceled. We're working on another one. Your Uber can't. Nobody wants those short trips, man. And then if you're gonna pay a taxi cab, that's a little bit of money for a taxi, right? It's always more expensive than Ubers. So you don't think about these things, but the hotel does it. They're gonna get tired of doing that shit every day. So we got a car for them, big, nice family car waiting for them in the garage. All they got to do is run that card,
That's crazy because Uber's very much like Airbnb in that case. Like, I guess they don't care because if you're an Uber driver, you keep rejecting rides, less come to you. That's crazy that they do that. That's man. They don't give a damn.
Yeah. It is crazy, man. And I'm like, even one freaking Uber driver was like, he saw us and he's like, it was me, my wife, and then my dad was here for a few days, and my stepmom, and then we have our little girls, and we had a stroller, right? Most of them, a lot of them had room for the stroller. I think that was another Uber move on their end, how they can cancel and not get dinged. Like if we cancel an Airbnb, we get dinged for it. I'm assuming.
Yeah, they get dinged
for it. Yeah, they get dinged canceling. And so the guy said, "Oh, I haven't got no room for the stroller," and he said, and most of them just cancel, right? But this dude, go ahead and cancel the trip because I can't take y'all. He told us to cancel. Just like. And I'm like, this motherfucker. And so he drove off and he's waiting in the parking lot. He's just like sitting there waiting for us to cancel. I was like, man. And we called a taxi cab dude that we kind of knew that he drive us around a few times. But I was just sitting there, I was just holding out. I'm not gonna fucking cancel. He's gonna freaking cancel, right? I'm not, it's one of those standoffs. It was like, but Uber was waiting for me to cancel. I was like, fuck it, cancel. And then I told him, and it said, do you want to leave a complaint or whatever? And I said, he refused to pick us up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And said, okay, that we're going to put that on as Uber cash for you to use in your next ride, whatever the hell. Because it says if you cancel, you have to pay whatever fee for them that came out. You know what I'm saying? Even if they didn't give you a ride, you still got to pay for that ride in a way. Not all of it, but the part of it.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, they cancel every time then. Ain't no way in hell. It's funny. And that's one thing I'm happy you brought up. You brought up you had a stroller and like a car seat for your baby, right? And it's funny, we just got back from Detroit. I've been in Detroit the last few days. And the one reason, like, we were last minute, like the day before we flew out, we were like, oh shit, we need a rental car because we're taking my 7-month-old. And I'm like, damn, we need a rental car because, man, you can't Uber with a 7-month-old. So I think that's a commodity people need to look at if you're an Uber driver. Like maybe they need to add that, like, hey, we have a car seat, we don't. And then I think if you have that, man, that's an amenity for your Uber ride. Like Uber XL or Uber for kid, whatever it is, you know what I mean? That you can add that on. Cause I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm like, well, shit, I can't go to Uber because I got a baby. So I got to rent a car, and I'm happy you brought up the rental car service at the hotel. Now, are the cars you rent from the hotel, are they ran by the hotel or are they like a third party service?
I think it's a third party. I've seen this company before. It's called like something Euro Car or something like that. And I think I've used them before in Europe, but I guess they have a presence here in Mexico too. In America, in the United States, it's all, Hertz and Avis, they run the show, right? And Dollar, those are but over here, the Euro Car is pretty strong in Europe too. So I think it's a third party that's there at the desk. See,
this kind of brings me back to a Doug McCarty move. What? Because, remember, we've like for years on this podcast, we always talk about, hey, man, does Turo work with Airbnb? And like everyone was like, nah, because the Airbnb, the Turo's booked and the Airbnb's booked and it's never matches up. So maybe it would be a good idea if we like called Hertz or all these rental car companies and be like, hey, man, I have a short-term rentals in the area. You mind giving us a kickback and a discount to our guests if they book with you? Because I like how they did it. Like, hey, here's a rental car, I mean, I don't know if they would drop it off or how it will work, but I think that's pretty cool if you could have that feature.
And I don't know why we're not thinking of things like this, man. We're just, we're so busy.
That's why the name of this episode is how to run your short-term rental like a 5-star hotel, because we're taking all their ideas.
Like I said, they've been doing this for thousands of years, man. They know what's up.
Exactly. And like, and then that's the thing. Like, I'm happy you brought up, like, people are always like, hey, we're against the hotels. But I'm like, you can learn a lot of shit from them, like a lot of shit from hotels, because like you brought up another thing, the laundry service. Like, I know there's Wash B&B, and maybe if Wash B&B listens to this episode, they could take that into account, because I know they do turnover laundry, right? But instead, how about y'all do the laundry of the guests and just charge them a fee, and then we get a kickback? I think that's a huge bonus. You know what I mean? If you could wash their clothes.
That will work well. And of course, I think, in places that we don't have washer and dryers for them. Because
and you know what? That's one of the reasons I avoid like studios with no washer and dryer. I'm like, they ain't about to arbitrage that shit. It ain't got no washer and dryer. But if you had that service, you'd be like, oh, well, hold on, I could just use Wash B&B. So it's so many ways to look at it, man.
Yeah, even because that's a big deal. People look for. That's a big advantage of Airbnbs, because a lot of them come with washer dryers, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess you could even kind of include like a free wash. Like if you have a place that doesn't have a washer and dryer, right? You can include a free wash from that service. What's it called? The Wash B&B.
Yeah.
With your stay, we recognize we don't have a washer and dryer in the unit, but you get a free wash through Wash B&B, while you're there. And they'll probably think it's a pretty cool service, and they'll probably order another one. So you can even work on a deal with Wash B&B. Say you probably, they're gonna want the free wash, but they'll probably keep using y'all because they're there for a few weeks,
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's all we need to think of these things, because it's getting, like you said, we talk about saturation, right? And the best hotels are still around because they figure out. I mean, there's so many hotels around to choose from: hotels, motels, Holiday Inns, right? And so what makes the best one stand out? They think of every single detail, like to make someone's stay like as seamless, as easy as possible.
Yep.
Like they fill up your mini bar every day. You can you can have some drinks out the mini bar, make big bucks off of those things. The services that they offer, they have cool, like if you go to hit up their bars, maybe you can spend some money at their bars.
Yeah.
And they have people at the front desk 24/7 for any question you ever have, any problem, any issue. You can go talk to somebody, at the front desk. They're always there. So that's they think of all these things to make your stay easy. Of course, it costs money for all this shit, right?
Yeah. See, and that goes back into like, Airbnbs versus hotels. Like, for example, you're staying And I've always told people this. I literally only stay in Airbnbs if I'm traveling as a group, right? Because you fly for free, right? You work for American, you fly for free. Me, I fly for free using credit card points. Then I get everything else for free, and that's what I've told people. That's why I really don't stay in Airbnbs. I'm like, they haven't partnered with credit card companies, right? But I noticed Marriott Homes and Villas has. They partner with credit card companies, so you could use your reward points and book like a short-term rental through Marriott Homes and Villas, because it's just a better route to do it. Unless you're traveling with a big group, everybody pitches in their $100 or whatever, and it make it a family thing. But yeah, it's just a lot of advantages that hotels still have over short-term rentals. I think the biggest advantage that like short-term rentals have over hotels is, like you were saying, the washers, the dryers, the family space, the kitchen. You can cook as a family, and that's why I've always liked the bigger units, like the houses, because now you can come as a family, So
yeah, that's a big advantage, and that's what especially if you're going to try to invest in the third world, I would say you got a different. You can't be competing with the hotel; they'll kick your ass. You try to rent out your condo downtown for $200 a night, and a hotel has everything and better for $75 a night. They're going to kick your ass. So I would stay away from direct competitions with the hotels over here, because they know what they're doing, and they don't go cheap on this stuff. That's another thing I noticed. So we talk about this on the show. So they have this big, beautiful freaking towels, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the best sheets, the best blankets, the best pillows. I mean, you're like, God dang, this is a fucking nice pillow. And a full ironing board, right? And a really nice iron. Now, we go to, okay, I've been guilty of this. We're all guilty of this. We throw an Airbnb together, we put it in cheap, I just get the $10 iron, $10 hair blower. I'm freaking done, right?
Get that Amazon Basics.
Yeah, that's the last time I did that on a freaking smart lock before. Not a smart lock, but a digital lock. That's Amazon Basics. Shit didn't work very well for a long time. I mean, it worked out first, and now it's just whatever. So I've gone cheap before just to get one up and running. And so like a nice hair dryer. And what's cool about our last guest that we can get nice stuff, and then people will end up buying the things and we get a kickback. We talk about that. So don't be afraid to spend money, especially if it can make you money. If people buy it, you get money for each purchase. Each sale you make, that's I'm sure the hotels make money. People like the towels, like the sheets, like the robes. They're gonna end up buying this shit, right?
Yeah, man, that's pretty dope, and I can't wait till Minoan really launches out there so we can really hop into that. I love that idea.
Oh, I want to partner with them, man. I believe in that product. One thing I also wanted to bring up, moving a little bit away from the hotels, but more of how you brought up credit cards. Mm-hmm. How you like to use credit cards, and we get a shitload of points. God dang, we get a shitload of points, right? We put everything, every utility bill, every water, every gas, every freaking every internet. We got to just churn in that freaking credit card. They're like, God dang, these fools. So what? The only thing that sucks is these freaking credit cards have expiration dates, right? And then once its expiration dates come, you got to go in there and change all the crap and all the things you had a credit card running, right? Okay, I know you're gonna
get credit card, man.
See, and that's what I was gonna say, and you're gonna give me your advice right now. But I know that the Apple credit card, that one doesn't have an expiration date, right? I'm just wondering, just for convenience sake, would it be smart to just put your Apple credit card on everything, and it doesn't have an expiration date, so it just keeps churning and churning as your arbitrages, as your Airbnbs, as whatever, all your rentals are going, and you're paying all these bills. It'll never expire. You never have to get to that freaking day where you're trying to switch out credit cards and all. That takes a freaking long time.
Yeah, you got to get with the right company.
It'll
never change. Chase.
So Chase, it doesn't, but it expires.
Yeah, it expires. So what happens when it expires? You just, after it expires, you could, you do have to go and change the CVV. I believe the CVV changes. So you have, fastest way to do it. If you use something like LastPass or Google Save My Credit Card, you can go edit the credit card and just change the CVV and updates it on all your other places. That is another way. Or I've seen people when their when their credit card is about to expire, they'll call the credit card company, tell them they lost, and be like, hey, can I just get the same credit card number? And you do it that way. And then they'll give you a card that expires again in 3 years. So
and does it keep the same CVV or does that change?
See, and I think the CVV changes. But if it does, there's that little hack. You can go into like Google or whatever, change the card and update it everywhere else.
Okay.
But yeah, because that credit card shit, now you got me looking at it like, damn, when's my shit expire? Fuck.
And that's the thing, man. And that's one of the things Apple says, it never expires. You know, they put that's one of the things that tries to attract people. Because I mean, not just us, we go through it, but other regular people too go through it too. You know. What are Apple's kickbacks? You know. Man, I don't know offhand.
Okay.
I'm sure it varies. And 3% on this, 2% on this, 1%. You know, I'm sure it varies, just like every credit card company does. You know.
Yeah.
But it's just a thought, as a convenience thing. Just throw an Apple credit card on there, or at least put Apple as your secondary credit card on every single thing that you know, because everything you can put several credit cards on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so if something don't go through, supposedly they're automatically supposed to go to the next one. So at least you're covered, and you don't, if you have like 100 arbitrages, you don't one day, so hey man, there's a freaking lights ain't coming on, the AC ain't working, what's going on, man? Oh crap. Yeah.
Seriously, man.
Because the auto pay. And then you got to freaking call and be on hold for like 3 hours, try to talk to somebody. It's the worst shit ever, man.
I know, man.
It's nothing. It's. I mean, you can spend a whole day trying to get one freaking thing fixed that messes up. You know, as calling customer service. It's the worst, dude.
It is
the worst. It's one thing you can't really outsource it, because you got to call them. They got to speak to the owner or the card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one thing we can't figure out a way to outsource yet. So yeah. So if we could figure out a way to keep a credit card on file that never expires, I mean, that's a big.
That's one of them things where when you fire yourself and hire your manager to take your place, you let them handle that. That's like one thing I've been really focusing on is like, when am I going to be able to just truly fire myself? Because that's when you get them to take care of stuff like that, man. Because it's got a few more things to do, and then I'll be able to just fully fire myself. I can't wait till that day.
Now, and here's the thing. I know I've given my cleaners, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have about 3 cleaners that we use for Dallas Fort Worth area. I've given them each a credit card of authorized user on the credit cards that are our Chase visits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course I have it where I can turn them off when we're not needing them. But if they say, hey, I'm gonna go make some purchases at Sam's and restock whatever, I'll turn it on and put them $1,000 limit or whatever, $500 limit, whatever the hell. And so they each have a credit card from us that they can only use if they'll tell us they need it, and then we'll turn it on. Now, if that's the case, can we? And you said we're trying to figure out how to outsource everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's the play. Could we start putting, like you said, find the manager that's going to manage everything for you, right? And then they're an authorized user on a card, and they can open up internet accounts for us, electricity accounts, and stuff like that. And then whenever something does mess up, they can be the ones to call the electric company, be on hold for 3 hours trying to get something sorted. Is that possible, since they're an authorized user?
You could, but they need to be like, they would have to have, I think, a position in your company. And that's what I was going to ask you. When you give like the cleaner, the authorized user, is that cleaner an employee or is that cleaner a contractor?
It's a contractor.
Contractor. Yeah. But I like the way you did that though, because then you can it makes it easier on you. Because what I end up doing, I actually stopped my cleaner from ordering stuff, right? Because when they were going to Costco, they were going way too high. So what they do is they send the list in Slack, hey, we need this. Then my VA goes in and orders it on our Amazon business line of credit. And then that's how we rack it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So either way works. I like how you did it though. Because because there's times when, like you said, if they need to go get something right then and there, they can you turn on the authorized user. Like, what do you usually set their spending limit to?
I think I have it at $1,000 for each of them. $1,000. And then, but we have our cleaners, but like I said, it's not always on. We'll turn it on. They might need to get some furniture if something happens with a piece of furniture, and furniture can eat through that real quick. And then we have our handyman, well, he's like a cleaner / handyman. So he fixes a lot of stuff. And he'll have to go buy parts and then go fix it and then buy whatever. So he has the card, to use whenever. And he just tells us when he has to go buy whatever, like a garbage disposal, replace it and stuff like that. And he'll switch it out and pay for it with the credit card. And it keeps it all nice and neat. Because what was happening before, our cleaners were doing these things for us, these tasks and buying stuff for us. And then, the handyman / cleaner or whatever, they'd be fixing things. And so we'd have all these different receipts coming at us, right? Because they're buying it with their credit card, right? And so we have all these different receipts from different credit cards from this and that. We got to keep it all organized on different things, and then we're paying them out and all this stuff because we got to reimburse them for spending their own money.
Yep.
Now it all keeps everything's on one freaking credit card. Everything that we've ever bought is on one thing, so it keeps it nice and neat and pretty. So we love that.
Happy you brought that up, because that bookkeeping turns into a pain in the ass. I mean, I finally outsourced my bookkeeping, right? But yeah, it turns into a pain in the ass if you got a bunch of transfers, especially me, because I use the profit first system. So I got 5 bank accounts. So I have to tell my CPA, hey, only focus on income and operating expenses. Everything else, don't worry about. And now he understands it now. So it's like easy for him. So yeah, that is one huge organizational thing. I'm happy I outsourced. I'm so really happy I got rid of that bookkeeping shit. I was like, oh man. So. But
yeah, we're transitioning to a CPA also, so it's going to be a big.
You have a good one,
Yeah, I mentioned her to you before. Cobra Accounting.
Okay.
You remember her?
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Sanisha.
Yeah,
she's really cool. The thing is, she's familiar with short-term rentals.
Good.
She's done short-term rentals. She's managed for other people, so she knows all the ins and outs of the business, which is cool. She has a better grasp on what we're doing, because it's a little different than just getting the regular CPA. What? You're renting a place and then you're renting it out again and you're paying. It's different. She knows the whole game, so it's easier to just hand it off to her. She's super cool.
Yeah, I'm happy you threw that out there. Like, people listening, man, if you get a CPA and you're doing arbitrage, especially, make sure they're familiar with it, because they'll be confused as hell. Like, you don't own this property, you'll be talking to CPAs all day. Like, never mind, man, you just don't get it. So I'm for real. Like, that's one thing. Like, my CPA, he understands it too. Like, he gets what we're doing, and he knew, like, hey, the places that you own, you need to lease those to your LLC. Things like that you got to know. And then because he and then they'll know how to structure your business to, like, where you can get bigger, right? You get more write-offs, you get funding. So that's a CPA is very important, man.
Yeah. That's true, man. I don't know if we talked about it I told you we bought a house, right?
Yeah. Your Grand Prairie one. How's that doing?
Yeah, the Grand Prairie one. We're getting it up, set up and running. And that's what we started all these vacations and stuff. So it's not like we're not in a rush. Check it out. We're not in a rush. What's cool about when you buy a house, if you've bought several lately, what's cool about when you buy a house, it's the ultimate. You always talk about, buying is way better than effing arbitrage, right? Because there's so many things and there's so many ways to do it where you're I don't know, it's better than arbitrage. One of the ways is when you buy a house, when you close and all that, they'll say, okay, when do you want your first payment? Is coming first, or do you want it, the next following month? You can it's kind of like getting 2 months rent for free, right?
For real.
And that's why you can take your time, get it set up right. You don't have to be like, rushing and stuff like that. And so we can set it up, get it right, get all the pro picks in there, and get the nice things together. And you don't have to pay a damn mortgage till 2 months down the road. And what's cool about that, and we bought it. It's in this little cluster of like 18 homes, right? A little bitty cluster of 18 homes in this older established neighborhood in Grand Prairie. And it's there's HOA attached to it, but it's mostly older people living there. I've never seen one leave their house yet. They just stay in their house all day. And the HOA is low. There's no rules against short-term rentals. But here's my thing. I don't want to push it. I want my first. I told Federico, even if we got to take a little bit less and get someone in there for 3, 6, whatever a year at a good price instead of, oh, but if we Airbnb it, we can make like, 10, 20% more. I don't care. I want to get someone settled in there for a nice long stay. And so it'll just keep the HOAs, because they're right now, oh, who's this you mother lover, coming into town. They're looking out their blinds at us and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They're at home looking at you.
But if we put a good renter in there, good solid renter in there, we'll make some profit still. But it'll be like for a long-term stretch, instead of just throwing some Airbnb fucking partiers going to ruin it day one for us. I think that'll gain the trust. They'll leave us be. They'll be off our backs, and then in 6 months from now or 3 months from now, they'll start sprinkling a little shorter term stays.
What you could do? Here's a little idea for you to look at. 2 things you could do. See if you could get a government worker in there or an insurance claim. Me and Mike got an insurance claim up in Plano, paying us like $7,200 a month. So like you get one of them. Yeah, because remember they're like distressed, right? So the insurance is paying it. So they might stay 8 months, right? If you go to ALE, they might stay like 8 months. So then they're paying you an inflated amount. So yeah, if you want the best, get somebody like that, like an insurance, or because what they're doing is they're getting something rebuilt, whatever. They might have kids, dogs, or whatever, and they fit the perfect family because, hey, they're homeowners themselves, right? They own a damn house. They'll take care of it. So definitely look into like ALE or government contracts, man, for sure.
So you had luck with ALE? That's where you got it from?
Yeah, we got that one from ALE. Yeah. Cool. And then the perfect thing you should do, because you said, you don't want to rush and just throw it up. And that gives you enough time to make contacts, make calls, and like, hey, I got this house coming up. We're looking for families may need, or that are displaced due to insurance claim, and really introduce yourself and your company. What you do is you want to introduce to your company and then just let them know what you're bringing to the table. You know what I mean? Right. So then you get a really good person in there. Then they're like, oh, well, they have nice families over there, Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And that's the thing, man, is patience is like that was patience is a virtue, but patience can make you a lot of money too. And here's when we bought this last this townhome before this one, we bought a townhome before this one, and my buddy, I kind of sort of knew him from work. He's the one that sold it to us. He was a distressed landlord kind of thing, and he didn't want to get rid of it, and someone burned him for 6 months without paying anything. So they said COVID. They said because of COVID they didn't have to pay shit, whatever. They finally got him out. They messed up a lot of stuff. He fixed it all before he sold it to us. He's just old school dude like that. Yeah. But he said, okay, y'all are buying it, whatever, we're going through the process. You can go and start putting renters in there if you want to right now. He kind of let us handed over the keys to us before we owned the damn thing, right?
Oh, damn.
So, and like I said, it's a rough around the edges part of town, right? And so a lot of the people that were coming through were a little rough around the edges too, So we were getting a lot of inquiries like that. And but the fact that he let us, start interviewing people and doing tours before we even owned the thing, we took our time. We weren't paying rent yet, we weren't paying any mortgage. We weren't paying nothing. He was still paying the HOA even. But we took our time and we found some great renters. It took like, 15, 20 days, whatever, but we weren't in a rush. Why were we in a rush? And then we found some great renters, man. These dudes, really, really nice dudes. And they're in there and they're locking it in for the long term. And like, they take care of most issues themselves. I mean, these, high credit score. And, what pushed it over for me was the dude had a LinkedIn account. And I was like, I've never seen a renter before with a LinkedIn account. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And all dressed up, got a little suit on and stuff. I was like, man, that really helped me to trust the dude. Okay, he cares about, how his appearance on the socials and getting out there and doing business and, works for GameStop, stuff like that. But he was a cool dude. And like I said, we were able to take our time and find the right tenant. And now you could do that if you're doing mid to long-term stays for, corporate leasing. Take time and find the right people, because the wrong people, just with anything, man, it could be a headache. And so take your time, man.
Man, I'm so happy you brought up about being patient and getting the right people in, because, I got a rehab, 1 down unit, and then technically 2 down units because we have an AC issue. Fuck. So what happens is you get frustrated with all this stuff happening. So you have to find ways to curb your time to make sure these places get up. So what I've been doing in the meantime is I've been like networking with other places to market, like OWL. And then I'm like kind of sourcing like where are they sending people from? And Al, man, I get inquiries daily from that site. Daily.
Nonstop.
Yeah. And I get them from like places like in my Little Rock places, man. I've actually been kind of pissed because my Little Rock place has been down. And I'm like, man, I got people wanting to pay $4,000 a month, you know, in this small ass town. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm missing money. But it just lets me know that clientele is there, right? So it lets you be patient and you can get the right people in. So, and I know when I get these 2 units launched and back up, we're going to be killing it, you know? So yeah, patience it's hard because you're like, man, I want to make money now, you know, but you know, it gives you a better business. You know what I mean? You have more to offer. Like one thing I've been doing, so basically with this big, huge lakefront property we're launching, we're having an issue with not the cleaning. It just has been an older person that had been there a long time and just wasn't clean. So we hired Molly Maid, right, to go in there and clean it, right? Mm-hmm. They do a damn good job. Like when they leave your house, it's gonna be spotless. Windows, everything. They do the windows. They do everything. So what I did was I was like, man, it's time to take this to another level. I was like, I need to have them come out quarterly. And today I scheduled them quarterly for all my houses. So what happens is because I'm trying to make sure, you know, I'm trying to cater to Airbnb because, you know, I had a refund issue. A guest got freaking refunded for everything. I complained about some stuff after we sent our cleaner out. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure our places are in tip-top shape. So I'm going to send them out on a quarterly basis. And then what I'm going to do is have them do a deep clean and then just have the cleaners cleaning it, you know, after every turnover. And then it keeps the place in a better shape. So one thing I'm trying to do, especially on places you own, you want to make sure you keep those in like top shape, you know? So especially after like long-term stays, sometimes they'll report it, sometimes they won't. So you have to be careful of that as well.
So you heard it from Micah first. It's all about that Molly.
Oh man, yeah, Molly, man. But other than that, man, what's been going on in the Argus side, man?
On the Argus side, I'll tell you one more thing. It doesn't do it. It has to do with Argus because we bought the house, you know, through the company. And here's a. I know Micah looking at his chops because he's probably done something similar. So you're gonna close on a house, right? Let's say you're gonna close on a house. You have this big fat chunk of money in your checking account, ready to wire it to whatever house you buy, right? Big fat chunk of money. The thing is that money is gonna soon be wired and gone to something else, right? Going into the house, into the equity of the house. You can always get back, whatever. So in that instance, and okay, let's just say I've heard people can do this. let's just say, you know, you're gonna sign everything that day, right? And you're gonna go to your bank and you're gonna do that, hit that wire button at your bank to send the money to the what's it called, the mortgage company, whatever, the lender. But before that happens, now if you're clear to close, all you gotta do is you gotta sit down at a table and sign a bunch of papers, right? Before that, so you're done, you're ready. They saw you got the money, they saw you can close, they know you're gonna wire the money. Before that money leaves your bank account, you can go sign up because it's a done deal, right? It's a done deal. All you gotta do is sign papers at that point, and they've already cleared to close, ready to go. Everything's ready to go. You can go sign up for as much lines of credit and as much credit cards as you want, and it's not going to affect the deal. Don't do it before you're clear to close and you're going to sign the papers. But if you have that big 100,000, whatever it is, in your bank account that's soon going to leave and go into whatever thing, you're going to get approved for every freaking loan imaginable, right? And so,
that's why you always have that huge chunk in a business account, because you want a business line of credit. Then nothing shows up.
See, Michael one-ups that too. He knows what's up. But anyways, before that money leaves, go get everything that money. Because like I remember an episode of it's so funny. I'm going way back. That's how we do. We keep it real here. I used to watch Good Times. You watch Good Times back in the day?
I didn't know you watched Good Times, man.
I love Good Times, man. Dynamite. And I love Good Times. And so remember when the dad went with the kids to the bank because he wants to get a loan to start a thing, whatever. I forgot what it was about. And of course they denied him, and they were talking about, I don't understand, it's a good business thing, you know what you're doing. They won't give you the money. He goes, son, they only give people money that don't need money. And they can see that we need the money. And that's true, right? Rich people, they'll approve them for anything. They don't need the money, right?
Ooh, that's a cold way to look at it. I like that.
But he said, but a regular,
that is, funny thing is, me and you can walk into a bank and get a loan, but somebody, good times, they was a struggling African-American family, so, me and you can walk in a bank and get a loan. That's true. Like, yeah, we need it, but we don't need it bad as the next guy trying to start a business and feed his family. It's the truth.
We got assets to back it up. Exactly. And we got money to back it up. But we don't want to use, don't want to use your money. You don't want to use your money, right? Use other people's money. Exactly. And so while that big fat chunk is still sitting in that checking account that's about to get wired to some whatever bank, go get everything. I mean, it could be said, go get everything that you can get with that big chunk of money. Oh, he wants a $50,000 loan. He has $100,000 in the bank. Hell yeah, I'm going to give him that loan. We'll prove that in a minute.
Facts. People don't know that, man. You got to leverage, and that's what I tell people. You got to leverage where you bank. You leverage where you bank. Make sure you bank somewhere that is leveraging what you're providing. So, facts.
So, yeah, man, that's Argus has been growing, and this has been a cool time right now because I've been on my travels, vacations, and then Federico's been in freaking Israel.
Man, Federico's been around the world, man.
Yeah, he's gone like 3 weeks, and things have been running smooth. And actually, we've been picking up more business. Our VAs have been, doing a fantastic job handling everything. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we'll chime in every now and then, but I mean, they really don't need us. We've had the best VA right at the top. She's managing the other VAs. She even, because I saw the back and forth with Federico and her talking about, okay, we had a VA drop out and just kind of ghosted us. And then later got an email saying she quit, whatever. I don't know. Okay. Fred got a different opportunity come up. Okay, whatever, it happens. At least be professional about it. Let us know before you ghost us, whatever. But so it kind of hit us at the wrong time because me and him both traveling, right? And so we had we had some gaps to fill, like especially in the weekend gaps to have somebody there to, because we always have 24/7 coverage. And I told Federico, I told Uno actually, because Uno was like, okay, just let me know when who's gonna come on. And Uno's like our lead. I said, Uno, you know what? Here's our account. Here's our Upwork account. Go ahead and do you mind making a post? This is what we need. These are the kind of shifts we need. And this is what we're looking for. And this is the pay or whatever. And start interviewing people. And he goes, and Uno's just Filipino. I said, hire Filipino. Because because she'll tell us things sometimes. We'll word it. We'll word things at an employee, and not an employee, but as a contractor at a Filipino, at a VA that happens to be Filipino. That say, hey, why aren't you handling this? This is what we're paying you for. So we expect this to happen when it, in a prompt time, answer this and handle this situation. And she'll be like, and later she tells us, hey, I'm talking to so-and-so, I'm getting them to realize that. But, Filipinos are sensitive. So if you come at them with strong language like that, hey, this is what we're paying you for. This is what we, they kind of streak, they kind of, it hurts them, they're kind of sensitive. And we don't know that. I don't know that, I'm not from the Philippines. And so,
but she knows that.
She knows that. She goes, I'm thick skinned. I can handle, criticism or whatever. But when most Filipinos, you tell them things like that or strong worded stuff, opinion, it really, they shrink down into, they turn small, whatever. And I said, it's great you're telling us that, so from now on, if it's cool, we're going to let you know what we need from somebody and you can break it down to them. She speaks their language too. She can make it, make them understand it without hurting their feelings.
Who came on the podcast? Was it Tracy who said when she hires her VAs, she'll even let them talk in their language to each other to make it feel like, hey, it's more of an accepting company. Well, I don't know. Was it Tracy who said that? It was someone who said that. Yeah, it was Tracy. And so that is a good thing you do that. Like, let her facilitate it. Because I like it that way anyway, right? Like, if you have one lead person and have another lead, that's the perfect way to go about it, in my opinion, man.
Right. And so I was like, and to take it a step further, is it cool if you we're both out of town. We can't sit there and get on Zooms with a bunch of people and
Mhm.
try to interview. Is it cool if you handle the interview process too? And record it on the Zooms, and we can look and see, about these employees or whatever. And I told Federico, she knows the culture. She knows, the language. She knows everything, and she knows that when a worker's going to come in and they're bullshitting us, right? They're saying
Mm.
that they know how to do certain things and this and that, and they're strong with the language. And to us, we're like, wow, that sounds really good. They go, oh, you work for the Marriott? Oh, you work? Oh, wow, you sound. And then you find out later that they're not very good at most
Yeah.
of the things that they said they were good at, right?
Yeah.
And so, so her bullshit radar is a lot stronger with the Filipinos than ours, right? So we let her and said, you go ahead and set up the interviews, and you interview them and just record them on the Zoom, and whoever you feel strong about, who we should hire, we'll go ahead and hire them. And she said, and we can look at if you break it down to like one or two people that you think we should hire, we'll look at the videos and let you know. And so she did. She found two great employees, and we liked them, and then we went ahead and hired them both. And she's gonna onboard them, and she's gonna handle them, and she's the manager. She's in charge.
Now, do you have your VAs answering phone calls?
Yeah,
You do.
yeah, they answer phone calls. Yeah.
I need to get into that. I don't have any phone calls, but it's always the time when you don't want to get them that you're going to get them. So I do need to look into that. I don't know. Me and you and Fetty got to chop it up about that one. So yeah, if you got a good, and they speak perfect English.
Oh yeah. They speak really, really good English. We've had ones in the past that didn't, they could bullshit their way through an interview, but then it comes time to crunch time, that their English wasn't that strong.
Ooh, what was what was the repercussion of that? Did like guests complain?
We had to part ways, because then there'd be like messages going across that we couldn't understand. People couldn't understand them. Like, what the hell are they trying to say? Just because they weren't wording things correctly, and the guests didn't know what they were saying. And then of course one of us had to hop in and clear it up, which is not a good thing. So we ended up parting ways with ones that weren't as strong as at the English language. That's
because my VA is based out of India. Speaks pretty good English, but he doesn't answer calls right now. So I'm about to definitely answering calls is definitely on the future list, man. Man, you guys are really growing, man. I'm loving it, man. Argus, man. It's like the 5 years of Live, Let Thrive, man. Everybody's starting to thrive. I'm loving it, man. You hit hiccups in this business, but man, once it's thriving, it's thriving. There's always going to be an issue, right? And I know I'm to that point now. I'm like, I don't want to deal with the issues, and I'm happy my VA is getting really good, So once he's there, and then I can hire another one under him, and I can just have those tag team it, I think I'll be good. But yeah, man, it's really starting to, everything's starting to come to fruition, man.
And like you said, we talk about the ups on the show, we talk about the downs, we talk about our failures too, and we just keep it real. I mean, if you just look at people on a lot of gurus on online, it seems like, oh, they never fail. They know exactly what to do all the time, every time.
Yeah.
Not so much, man. What is the number one thing people say about our show?
Keep it real.
We keep it real.
Yeah. Because I'm in
so many times.
Because I'm in a, and I'm in a tight spot right now with this, this BRRRR that's about to turn into a flip. Somebody broke into the place, took all the shit out of there. So I'm like, okay, this place is too far in the hood. So I got my contractor. He's putting bars on all the windows, putting a lock on the back gate, and they just started the HVAC unit yesterday. Monday they started the HVAC. Yeah, yesterday they started the HVAC. So yeah, man, it's issues that you do have to go through in this business, man. Especially when you're because like me and Steve, we came into this on the real estate side. We came into the real estate, and then we just use short-term rentals as a tool on the tool belt. Like, we always been real estate guys, and and coming in, it's just so many issues that come up. Like, I got 3 down places, but you just got to push through those hard times. And then, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to, it's like what we do with this podcast, put our head down, you look up, you're like, damn, we had 200 plus episodes. So always keep your head down, grind it out. Everything will be okay. Facts.
And learn from your mistakes, right?
That's a big thing. Learn from your mistakes. Because I got a whole list of mistakes I made on this BRRRR.
You got burned.
Yeah, burned. Straight up, man. So yeah, walk the property thoroughly. So yeah, and I'm actually working on buying another one right now down the street from my one that's been up the longest. I'm actually talking to someone who has it because there's one thing before we hop off. One important thing, man. The market has turned. Mm-hmm. It is a buyer's market. And this is how I know. So the property I'm telling you about that I'm looking at down the street from my house that I've been up, that's down right now because it's the water issue. A wholesaler sent me this last month. He sent it to me again 3 days ago. I'm like, he can't dispo this property. I'm like, I got leverage. So what's happening is, and I know he's getting rejected because of the price. And plus I looked at the numbers and the numbers are straight shit. And I'm like, that house ain't worth almost 200 grand. This is the damn hood. So, I'm like, I don't care how much appreciation you want to talk. Houses don't appreciate like that. And plus I haven't told him, I'm like, bro, I own the house down the street and I know how much this house is worth. But the market's turned, man. It's a buyer's market, like shit's sitting. Not in all of Texas. I think Texas is moving a little bit faster, but if you can hit some of these small towns, man, it's shit sitting that has gold all over it and you can negotiate price. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how good of a deal you got on your Grand Prairie one, but man, it's some shit out there.
Yeah, we got a pretty good deal, I think, as far as what was cool about the Grand Prairie one, and I think I might have touched on it before, but it was between us and not like one of those all cash buyer corporations from California, one of those. So it was between us two, right? And so we bid what we bid, and then they said, okay, it's between y'all two, and they even asked, so could y'all go a little higher? Because I think the other one's going higher, blah blah blah. I said, no, that's our offer. That's what makes sense for us, Always bid, always put a price that makes sense for you. It's tempting to just they're a bit higher. Yeah. Put 20,000 more. It's tempting, right?
I've been into that situation. Don't ever do it.
Yeah, don't stick to your numbers. Say, this makes sense for us. We know what our mortgage is going to be, but with the HOA, everything included, and we know how much we can make in this area. For we now if we go higher, it's not going to work. The numbers aren't going to work. So anyway, that's our number. If they choose the other one, that's fine. And anyways, so we heard like a day later, yeah, they chose you guys. I said, really? And all cash from another? Goes, yeah, well. The house had sentimental value to them, and they would rather have like a family, own it. A real people own it than some corporation buying it up. They would rather have real people own it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I thought that was,
man, sending a letter in with your offers is always a good thing. Like letting people know who you are. Like maybe with a business card of you and your family, whatever. Like, hey, this is who we are. This is our just rentals and what we do. Things like that really helps. People do like to see an actual person on the other side, man, not some big ass corporation. And I talked to, my son goes to jiu-jitsu around the corner, and I talked to a realtor in there. And that's one thing he always says. He goes, I put he has a why in his realtor. And that's what I love. I love people who have a why, right? Because you're looking at a bigger purpose or a cause. And basically his whole goal is to provide housing for families. So when he's out there doing work on, he presents it like, hey, they're making an offer on behalf of this family, So people like to see that, especially providing housing for families right now, because we're on a major housing shortage. And man, if people want houses, it's a bunch in Detroit. I walked around there. I was like, oh, shit, man.
What the hell are you doing in Detroit?
So we went to Mahogany's extravaganza for Herbalife. We went to her extravaganza. And then while there, of course, you know me, I'm driving for dollars and shit. So we're driving around, and like Detroit's biggest issue is this, man. When I drive around Detroit, like, the hood part, the not hood part, because the part we stayed in a pretty nice ass Airbnb. They needed to clean it up a little bit, but it was a nice ass Airbnb. But the part we stayed in was a really nice townhouse, brownstone townhouse. The problem with Detroit though is it's just abandoned. It's an abandoned city. Like even if like GM's gone, GM's here, hell in Arlington, Texas. I mean, if you talk to half the people in Arlington, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Detroit, so it's just an abandoned city. So when you drive around, you see all these, man, you see abandoned houses, abandoned churches, shit like that. But check it out though. And this is how I know it's abandoned. It doesn't have a huge homeless population from the parts I was in. So I'm like, people aren't even homeless out here. I'm like, they're just leaving this city. They're leaving, but the downtown's nice. The downtown's nice. If you can get something in like the North End or downtown, it's a nice area. But like you can get a house for like $5,000 in Highland, certain parts of Highland Park,
Still.
Yeah. But it might be a shithole or like a flat land. But the issue I have with Detroit and why I'm not touching it is because it doesn't appreciate, right? So, and that's the reason why I'm getting out of Arkansas right now. After I finish this Arkansas one, unless a killer deal hits me, then I'm in there. But I'm kind of backing off Arkansas. I'm like, it doesn't appreciate like I wanted to, and it doesn't get me to my goals as fast. So that's what made me really back off Detroit. But other than that, this is how abandoned it is. Like everything shuts down at 10 o'clock. You can't get no food. If you don't have food at 10 o'clock, you're fucked.
I know. Heidi wrote that online. She goes, "Where's the damn food at around here?"
Yeah, dude. And it was crazy because the other people at the extravaganza who were there, they're like, "Bro, you can't get no fucking food around here." I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, I thought it was only us, man. Like, I'm talking, dude, the Wendy's closed, the McDonald's closed. We found a hole in a wall called Yum Village, man. There was some good ass Jamaican food up in there. And it was just like, damn, it was the only thing open. I don't know, they're making a killing. But another thing about Detroit's diverse as hell. I have never seen a place like, there's this place called the Hamtramck. We went there and this is like everybody walking down the street, just every culture. And then they have all these flags, the Ukraine flag, the US flag, the Jamaican flag, all these flags. I was like, and I saw it. I'm like, wow, now I want to drive down there and see what that is, man. It was just like cultures everywhere. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. But it was a cool city, but it's just abandoned. That's all it is.
Yeah. So that girl that was on Bigger Pockets, remember?
Yep.
Is that she's big time in Detroit?
Oh yeah. See, and if you watch the story that I made, I did say if you're from there and you live there, I see how you could. It's so much opportunity. If you live there and you know like everywhere, and then you know who's coming there, it's so much opportunity. Because think about it, that extravaganza we were at, it was 25,000 people. So I know whoever, if you have a short-term rental down there, man, you made some money that last weekend. You made some money because these people pay high dollar too. So it's definitely opportunity. You just have to find out where people are going, man.
Yeah. And one more thing, this recession right now is happening, been a long time coming. This is where we become millionaires. 100% believe that. We're picking up what we're picking up. It's, everything's a little tighter and more compressed, but we get through this and back to the good times, man. We're millionaires. We're millionaires.
Facts, man. So yeah, I'm actually, funny thing you said that. I'm actually about to text this girl who sent us this deal. Because yeah, you just have to, man, you can do this in any market, right? You just have to run the right numbers, get the right deal, and you're good. That's what real estate is. It's about running numbers and getting the right deal. And I think, I don't know, this house, I might have to flip it. And I really don't want to flip it because everything's sitting tight. And I'm like, shit, so might have to put some long-term renters in there and sell it turnkey. But other than that, man, everything will pan out.
That's it, man. I mean, we're long-term investors. We're not short-term investors. We're long-term investors.
Playing the long game.
That's how you get wealthy. So salute to you, Mexican beer from Mexico. I'm enjoying right now. And it's cool, man. The technology, we're doing this from all over the world and living and letting it thrive. And that's how we do.
Heck yeah. It's funny you say that because the last episode, I think I was out of town, right?
I know. Yeah, you were out of town.
That's crazy. So yeah, yeah, man, it's been a lot because I'm about to be traveling again this weekend, going back to Arkansas, pick up Malachi, finish up some stuff. Then I'll be back home for a while, man, because I've been, Arkansas, Detroit, Arkansas, back to Texas for a couple days, so I'm ready to get settled back into here so I can really buckle down and get things done and, get the business thriving.
If you want to start a $1 million business, call it AC B&B, air conditioned B&B, because a lot of people's Airbnbs, air conditioning is going out, man. So they need someone that can fix that thing quick because you're gonna have lots of cancellations.
I don't know how hot it is in Mexico, but it's been 105 since I got off the plane.
70s. It's been in the 70s over here all week.
Man, that's how it was in Detroit. It was in the 70s and 80s. It felt good outside. I'm like, it's kind of cold because if you've been in 100-degree heat, you kind of have to put a little light jacket on. You know, yeah. People are like, man, it's 80 degrees. Like, man, I'm living in Texas, dude. It's cold as shit. It ain't just, you know. So, yeah, man, I know what you mean.
So, yeah. Well, cool, man. Another great episode in the books, episode 214, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks for following us on Instagram. Where are we at?
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, join our Facebook group. And if you want to get updates about like our upcoming master classes, make sure to join our email list. Join our email list. All that's in our link tree. And thank y'all for continuing to listen to us, man. And tune into us every Wednesday. Oh, yeah. Every Wednesday, 7:30 on Clubhouse. And yeah, man, it's been a real fun ride. And we're going to continue pumping this stuff out. We love this business. Has its ups and downs, takes its tolls on us, but we love doing it. So, and whatever we learn, we teach it to you guys for free every week. So thank y'all for continuing to listen to us. We are out.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.